Hi guys, welcome to Football Takes. I'm your host Daiki, and here again with me to go over some of the encapsulating previews of last week's encounter in the Premier League game week 10 is Simplicio, aka Steven, aka Liverpool fan, and what have you. Please make an introduction, young man.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again. So it's always promises to be an exciting one. Always when Liverpool has had a very splendid week. I'm looking forward to the podcast. That's the least I can. That's what I can say though.
Of course, you're looking forward to the podcast. Why wouldn't you be? Well, as we start up with a preview or a recap of what happened last week in game week 10, starting off with the big match of the week, which actually wasn't really exciting. So I'll start up with Liverpool, Manchester United versus Chelsea. What do you make of that game? What do you think? Did they live up to expectation? Did they live up to the hype, or was it a bit underwhelming? What do you think?
Yeah, I think obviously those kind of fixtures they rarely on the on the compensating for what they are going to be because they are always very fierce with history behind them and all that good stuff, right? Personally, I think it was a let off on the on Chelsea's part. That's right, rather on Manchester United's part. I said immediately after the match that I think uh, Chelsea Football Club should be covering Garnacho's wages this week because I think that is only right. But yeah, it's one of those matches where Manchester United could have won it, but it didn't pan out. So on statistics, right, obviously it looks as though Chelsea did some stuff with the statistics with the position
What?
going Chelsea's
Yeah,
going
yeah, yeah.
Chelsea's way.
You're
But
right.
like with someone that has seen the match, obviously the bigger share of the chances and the clear cut chances rather even felt with Man U's way, and it was theirs for the taking. But I think Garnacho had other plans.
Well, I think you've made a few good points. Also, you've made a few off the ball calls. I must say. As for the match was pretty much dominated by Chelsea. It wasn't a Chelsea masterclass, but it was a match which we never really felt that we didn't have control of the match. However, we were not clinical enough, and we didn't also create enough clear-cut chances, I would say. And one of the good points you highlighted the part that United created more clear-cut chances, and also if they had like clinical edge, maybe they could have this the type of game they could have probably nicked, and that would have been an unfair result. Also, but I think the game, actually, the goal they scored was really a gift from Sanchez because Hoyland was going nowhere with the way he miscontrolled the ball, and also they should have had a man sent off with 15 minutes on the clock. I think 13 to 15 minutes on the clock. Martinez should have been shown a red for that Chai Haibu challenge on brilliant Cole Palmer, but this is what you come to
No,
expect when you play away from home. So I would say, all in all, it's not a fair result, but taking a draw or 2 points off United, it's always good. But I was a bit disappointed with the lads. I was a bit disappointed with the creativity. It's the creativity. It's not. I can't blame point a finger at any one person on the team, but I can say the creativity wasn't there, and that's my take on it. Then moving
yeah,
on. Oh, you do
I
have
think,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think, yeah. I mean, I don't think we have time to say too much, but yeah, I think because this is actually a subject we can go hours on just it. But yeah, I think we move on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So moving on to Liverpool, Brighton. I think you guys survived the scare, but also Brighton were a bit wasteful. They were wasteful in the first half. They should have had the game buried if they had clinical players. But what did they do? They allow Liverpool to stay in the game, and Gakpo found his shooting boots. Mohamed Salah. I think even it was the fact that Brighton were pressing so hard that was actually what kind of opened up the game for Liverpool to be able to go on those quick counters. And I must say, Curtis Jones have impressed me over the matches. I hear a lot being said about Gravenberg, but in my humble opinion, or in my analytical mind, as a football pundit, not a big one, but still growing in that aspect. But I think Curtis Jones have impressed, and I think Curtis Jones has been one of the surprises of the Liverpool team. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think of the lot of what you said. Curtis Jones being being a not much of a surprise because I think in the tail end of last season he actually did what he's doing now, and I think the world, or like in general, has not been able to catch up to him as being a Liverpool first 11 midfielder. But I know he has the ability to be that and even more for Liverpool come the years. But I think what the rave has been about Gravenberch has been about the dirty job, right? Gravenberch not being an actual four, being able to do that job seamlessly and still being able to progress the ball, being press resistant is what the rave about Gravenberch has been about. Now, looking at the match, uh, with I think Brighton missed some chances come the first half, and I think come from my prediction last week. Those were chances that were obviously were supposed to fall on them. I think in total they had three clear-cut chances to
Yeah,
score in the first half. That was Kagoglu's goal, which was a very very poor showing from Van Dijk yet again. But
yeah,
I guess that's what we are getting from him these days. And then he missed another one that was put over the top from Cairo Mitoma, and he had a volley at it. Um,
yeah. Brighton were really
and
poor. It could have
yeah, and
that
then
match should have been put to bed in the first half.
no, there's no putting to bed anything in Anfield. And that's what I was excited about in that specific match, because I wanted, when we had gone behind, I was eager to see the way and the slot responded to it, and I think when the Anfield crowd came in, uh, they became the 12th men on the field, because we now started having chances like it was open day, and we could have put at least five past Brighton, clear cut chances, but I guess we had to settle with what we had. And yeah, I think it was a match we were always going to win, just as I earlier predicted. But I think Brighton gave it a good shot, and I obviously a tactical match as well. But yeah, it is what it wasn't overwhelming. I just expected it to go the way it has gone.
It's not usual to sense some amount of arrogance in some Liverpool fans, but I'm over. Moving on
Yeah.
to your close rivals, Manchester City, who surprisingly dropped points to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Having although they had I would say, I wouldn't say a bad game, but they've not really been
Mm.
they've not really been at their best, to say the least. But they had a whole host of chances, and I would say they had opportunity to nick a draw at the end, but they played very poorly. It was a poor showing from Manchester City, and I would say Bournemouth deserved the 3 points, but it was touch and go towards the end because Foden as well as Holland, no,
Haaland.
Haaland had a whole host of chances to make something happen. What do you make of that
Hmm.
match?
I think I have very varying opinions of that. I think Bournemouth had already, they should have put the match to bed. Like, I wasn't surprised by the result. I think we didn't get to preview the match specifically last week, but I had, prior to this game week, earlier predicted that Man City would lose against Bournemouth, because from their showing with Southampton and Wolverhampton Wanderers,
Yeah,
I just had this inkling that a team with any ounce of cohesion, right,
yeah,
would would be able to see Man City off in the sense of when they take their chances and they're
Yeah.
able to keep it clear and close down at the back, they will be able to see off Man City. And that is exactly what had happened. I think Bournemouth should have even had like two more goals that were clear cut. That is not the ones that maybe they might have
But
maybe
didn't
build up
that
game.
come as a result of Manchester City chasing the game?
I think I think it's because okay, I feel if that was the case, because the first goal and as well as the goals they missed also came in the same vein, like with when Man City. I think the first goal came from when Samuel. I think I think Samuel took the ball off Aki, right?
Yeah,
So the Man City was comfortable playing their natural high line, and
yeah.
Semenyo took it off of him and scored the goal. I won't say I see a lot of them chasing the game, causing them to have you know gotten those chances on them. But like I think it's just the way Man City plays. Even when Man City plays not the one man a goal behind,
Yeah,
they always have their line very very high. So I think that's why I say that anything with cohesion at a
yeah,
specific point, because even the way those other teams broke them down, that is
yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers, the way they broke them, the way Southampton broke them down was just and like a
Broke.
piece of football. Now the way they broke Man City down when they scored
Yeah,
their goals.
Man City, but more, I will say I'll give it to Bournemouth. They did well in the first half and most part of the early parts of the second half, but they got chances
Mm,
towards the end also, which were as a result of Man City committing a lot of players up front. But is this normal with Man City? I think they
yeah,
they will have their rough patch. The players will start getting back, they and then we'll see a very
yeah, yeah.
rejuvenated Man City. So this is not to count Man City out of the title race. Moving
That's far
on
from it.
to Tottenham Hotspur, who had they had a bit of a purple patch over the weekend over Aston Villa. What did you see that coming, or was that typically out of nowhere for you? What do you think about the
Yeah,
game?
I think if they are going to have a purple patch against any team, I think it's going to be Aston Villa, because I think I had earlier predicted last week that that match will be one of the most interesting matches to watch.
Yeah,
Even given the fact that Manchester United was playing against Chelsea,
yeah,
so even looking at the match, right? It was a match of end to end. I think for the better part of the first 30 minutes of the game, Aston Villa was bossing the whole game.
yeah,
They were getting chances, they were creating chances, they were just coming at Tottenham. So it was as predicted, an end to end game. So I just
yeah,
think what had happened was Tottenham took their chances.
yeah,
Solanke got on the board twice, that which was like kind of shocking. And
yeah,
I just think Tottenham got there. And then something else I felt that influenced the game greatly was the fact that Rogers was taken off.
yeah. It got a
Uh,
knock, isn't it?
uh, no, I think he got a knock, but I think the Aston Villa medic, called it wrong, and he was taken off. Unai was advised to take him off, and when he was taken off, he was a bit frantic about it. He was a bit flared up, and he was like, "Why am I being taken off and stuff like that?" So I think they got
Was it
a wrong
Rogers?
interpretation of
Rogers too.
whatever. Yeah,
I thought they had a knock.
yeah, Roger.
It was a
No, no,
Son.
no, no.
Son when they took Son off, he was also fuming after he's just created an assist for Johnson. It was a good game from
Yeah,
it was a good
yeah,
game from Tottenham Hotspur.
yeah.
Uh,
Really well.
uh, Villa were lackluster at best, and they couldn't finish their dinner. They were not clinical enough. They didn't even create enough chances to kind of put.
No, I think that match would have swayed to anyone who had gotten like a hand on the other person. I also think this match could have easily been 4-1 to Aston Villa if they had been 2-0 up. And I think
But they
Watkins
will have
had
to
one or
create the
two chances.
chances to they
Yeah,
were
I think
they were not
Watkins,
playing.
Watkins.
He had
Yeah,
the
Watkins had the
chances.
chance
He
to.
wasn't
Yeah, he had the
clinical.
chances to, but he was
But
just playing having one of those days.
Villa were not dominant enough. Aston,
Yeah, yeah, I told you
they were
were.
not dominant enough. This guy Sa dominated the midfield. when even Richarlison came on and was couldn't dribble one man, couldn't dribble two men. All of a sudden, when they now got on, I think they got on Madison, and chances started going up, popping up, and then he created the chance for two of the goals. So I think he created one of the goals for
Madison. Madison scored a free
no,
kick.
yeah, Madison scored the last goal, but Richarlison created one of the chances for um,
Solanke
Solanke,
for
and also one of them
okay.
was a mistake as well. I think someone misplaced the pass in the midfield, and these
Mm.
guys rushed onto it. I think what is that? Sir rushed onto it, put
Yeah, 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 yeah,
this guy.
yeah. Mm.
Even Solanke also had before he scored the goal. I think he had a chance as well
I,
where he missed.
I think Aston Villa. I think Aston. That's what I was saying that I think Aston Villa could have also had this match as 4-1 on their own end because I think at the first 30 minutes of the match, Onana had a header that almost went
Oh
in,
yeah, in the first
and
half, yeah,
yeah, and then he's still in that first 30 minutes. Watkins missed a 1v1
yeah,
that he was put through on the goal. I feel if those two had gone in, or probably if one of them had gone in and they were 2-0 up
yeah.
by the first half. I don't think Tottenham is doing any miracle that is going to bring them back for to score 4 goals. I think it's just
Yeah,
going to be the momentum will be on Aston Villa side. I think I always thought it was going to be a game of momentum. Who gets the momentum, and they are always going to run with it because their two defenses are proper rubbish.
that's a fair point. What do you make of Aston Villa? Not Aston Villa. Southampton, or my one of my hometowns. Southampton uh, uh, finally got a win, and where else to get it? If not against Sean Dyche's man, Everton.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of that
But
game? That was a game that just was decided by one goal.
yeah, that's one of the games that I actually slept on. I think with my predictions last week, I had uh, picked Shondaish to have seen this off easily with
Yeah,
Southampton being a team that are really a poor showing. Has been a poor
yeah,
showing this thing, but they were able to get their goal, and then they were able to sit back, and I didn't see a lot of chances being created by Everton to take the ball the lead or even get a draw back. So I think Southampton had done their due diligence. They scored their goal. They kept it compact. And the one thing with Southampton is that they know how to keep possession. If there's anything they know how to do, it's how to keep possession, and they can
yes,
while away time while doing that. So I think they were able to do that, control the game, and then see it off. And then I think that's a very good showing from them. Probably a
yeah,
beginning of a lot of good things to come, I guess.
yeah. Ipswich were also on their way to do
Um,
the same thing to as a who would they play? Who did Ipswich play? I think they
let's
were
let's just start. They
yeah,
played
Leicester.
Leicester at home.
Yeah, but Ayu had other things to say
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it because he scored a
Mm.
late a late winner. Same thing. I was thinking these two promoted clubs were going to finally get their win on the same weekend, but Ipswich, as usual, concede a goal towards the latter ends of the game. Then finally, to one of the shacks in my eyes of the weekend, which was Nottingham Forest once again pulling up all the stops, surprising
Mm.
people, and shutting up naysayers and saying we're in the Premier League, we're here to compete with the big boys. What do you think of that performance? 3-0 to Nottingham and not
I yeah, I
West Ham.
think I think being on this card, we're speaking with you like long enough. I'm not the biggest fan of Lepetugi. I think he's just a Spanish overhyped cold manager at this point. That I think he makes up for his poor tactics with shouting at the byline, and I think that's what has influenced a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that is.
You're right. West Ham have actually been very poor, and they even lost their head because didn't Kudus get a red card, and that's been extended now as well. He got a red card in the match before this one for losing his head, and then and that red card has now been upgraded even too. for 3 match ban. So he's not coming back for a long week. So he probably should book his holiday and
I
start
don't
planning.
think. I think he intentionally took the. I think he intentionally took the red card, and the fact that they are giving him a 3 match ban, I think he will be elated about that. That probably, I think Lepetugi is also as poor technically as also as poor in managing his players, because it is obviously there's always obviously a feud there, and I think
A
Kudus
feud.
not trying
What?
to.
How do you know
Yeah,
that?
I think there must be an internal affair that's going wrong, because Kudus cannot just he didn't he wasn't tackled. I think he just stood up,
Yeah,
stepped on the guy. The guy was like, okay, I won't do anything about that. He pushed someone else. The ref was okay,
yeah,
I will be benevolent. Don't do anything about it. And then he literally pushed someone against the face, like, Charlie, I
yeah.
go slap you, crowd. Like he thought they were fighting for Bantu. so 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 if I think it would take Kudus coming to me and telling me I did not do it intentionally, for me to believe that. For me to
Yeah,
believe that.
yeah.
So I think he just,
He was actually looking for it. You're right. He was
yeah,
looking for
he,
it.
he literally begged for it, and you guys are giving him three. I think he's going to be elated. And I think
Yeah.
for him to be doing that, and Lepetugi has not reacted in any way in the media or stuff like that, I think he had already seen it coming. So
So
yeah,
that
I
that
think
means more minutes for Somerville. Anyway, moving on to one of my matches of the weekend, which gave me so much joy. It's one of my former hosts in Newcastle. I have a soft spot for Newcastle.
yeah. I was elated. I was
Of
excited.
course, you were related.
Every word there is for happiness, right? Because number one, for the fact that I called the match before last weekend, and number two, for the fact that it's Arsenal getting a sweet, sweet, sweet defeat. So yeah, I think everything I had said about the match was like had come true. Because if there's any team that was built to like see off Arsenal, because Arsenal was playing with their set piece, we love set piece, we love set piece type stuff. And the thing with Newcastle is that Newcastle is a team that within their DNA, even with not even under Eddie Howe, like since
Yeah,
the inception of Newcastle, what is in their DNA is set pieces and how to defend it. So they always adapt to having very, very physical players. You
yeah,
rarely have them have a short maestro trying to orchestrate
yeah,
stuff for them. They always have big midfielders, big forwarders, big defenders, big people everywhere. And I think I had called the fact that Arsenal would have, rather than a coordinated match, would
yeah,
have a match that people would just be hitting themselves against each other, and then Newcastle will have a field day, because that's the game they play,
yeah. That's
and
the they
and
play
and
physical
and
game, don't
that's
they?
yeah, that's literally what panned out. It even turned out that because the goal that Newcastle had scored was actually a well curated goal. I think it was a
Yeah,
pump from the back, and then someone brought it down. Then Isak spread it out, and then it was so. I think Newcastle played their game, and
yeah.
Arsenal played into it basically.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. It was actually Arsenal couldn't. They created some chances, but they couldn't create enough chances to be able to dispatch or even get a draw from the game, which was expected.